Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Om
Yes, we can hear you.
Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagramayam Dadati Subhadantikam Addanastranam Dantaridam Yache Punah Punah Shrimad Rupapadamboja Tulisyam Janma Janmani Anarvidhacharim Charyat Karnavatirna Kalau Samarpayitum Notodurasam Subhakti Shriyam Hari Purta Sundara Diti Kadamba Sandhi Pitaha Sadarudhe Kandare Smurtuva Shachinandana Sansara Dukkhadrado Paritasya Kama Krodhadi Nakramakare Kavali Kritasya Durvasana Nigaditasya Nirashrayasya Chaitanya Chandramamade Padavalambam Chaitanya Chandramamrutkubatam Vikasya Nrityam Vidhe Nija Chintana Vrangarangahi Inchapadadatividam Nividam Viduya Padamritam Sadaya Paye Durgatam Mam Sankarshana Yashai Garbhodishai Chapayogdishai Sheshasya Syam Sakala Sanitya Nandakhyarama Sharanam Mamastu Amala Kamala Kantim Nila Vastram Sukishim Shishidara Samabhaktram Kanjanakshim Manogyam Tanagatam Mukta Damadiptam Kishorim Brajaparisada Kantam Radhikam Ashriham Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhurasmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Paradram Tato Mamanyasti Gatir Nakapi Hare Krishna Sarvatam Asmate Gurupad Padmantila Prishta Jagat Guru Shishimat Bhaktidan Narayan Goswami Maharaj Tirandi Swami Shishan Bhaktidan Dandi Maharaj Ji Namnishta Sant Shri Aniruddhas Prabhu Ji और समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में यथा के दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करते हुए इनकी कृपा की प्रार्थना करता हूँ. So what is the verse today? Can anyone tell me what is the verse today?
Maharaj, last week we did 59.
What shloka was going on? So,
First one.
53 or Adi Lila first chapter 53 or 54?
Adi Leela 53. Ananga Mohan Prabhu?
59.
59, yeah.
Chapter Adila chapter 1, text 59.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. What is the shloka today? Hari Bol?
Text 59, Maharaj.
Text?
59.
59, okay. Alright, we'll
Yeah.
begin with 59. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Ishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Shatashakti Krishna Chaitanya Sadnikam. So, text 59. Tato Dussangam Usrujya Satsu Sajjeta Buddhiman Santa Evasa Chindanti Mano Vyasang Ukti. One should therefore avoid bad association. This is the purport by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. So he's telling that one should therefore avoid bad association and associate only with devotees. With their realized instructions, such saints can cut the knot connecting one with activities unfavorable to devotional service. So one should avoid bad association, it is told actually. So this verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.26.26 was spoken by Lord Krishna to Uddhav in the text known as the Uddhav Gita. The discussion relates to the story of Purava and the heavenly courtesan Urvashi. When Urvashi left Purava, he was deeply affected by the separation and had to learn to overcome his grief. So this is a very important verse. Tato dussanga musrujya satsu sajjita buddhiman santa evasa chinnanti mano vyasanga uktivi. Very, very important verse. An intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association and instead take up the association of saintly devotees whose words can cut off the excessive attachments of one's mind. It is indicated that to learn the transcendental science, it is imperative that one avoid the company of undesirable persons and always seek the company of saints and sages who are able to impart lessons of transcendental knowledge. The potent words of such realized souls penetrate the heart, thereby eradicating all misgivings accumulated through years of undesirable association. For a neophyte devotee, there are two kinds of persons whose association is undesirable. Number one, gross materialist who constantly engage in sense gratification. And number two, unbelievers who do not have the Supreme Personality of Godhead but serve their senses. Unbelievers who do not serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead but serve their senses and their mental whims in terms of their speculative habits. Intelligent persons seeking transcendental realization should very scrupulously avoid their company. So, this one telling us to associate with sadhus and hear the Harikatha. By hearing Harikatha, when Prataprudra Maharaj he wanted to get the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was not willing to meet him because Nishkinchanasya Bhagavan Bhajanon Mukhasya Param Param Jigimishor Bhavasagarasya Sandarshinam Vaishainam Athayoshitam Cha Ahanta Hanta Vishabhakshanotopi Asadu. That for a person who wants to cross the repeated ocean of birth and death, to associate with members of opposite sex and to associate with non-devotees and to meet a king who is a great sense gratifier is like drinking poison, worse than drinking poison. Really, Gurudev was telling that what is drinking poison? That is not real suicide. Real suicide is actually you don't do bhajan, although receiving the human form of life. Labdva sudurlimam bahusambhavante manushya marthata manityam apiya dhira Turnam yatetna patitan mrityavat nishreyasaya visha kalu sarvatasya. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending, this is common for all the animals and human beings. But bhakti cannot be done by animals. Only human beings can do bhakti. So that is our savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radoksha. Ahitu ki apratiyata atma subhasidati. Our param dharma is to engage in the devotional service of Krishna. So when we associate with non-devotees, then not possible to do bhakti. So one should avoid the association of the kings. Like once Srila Gurudev was giving class in Florida and Barack Obama was there nearby. And then Gurudev apparently, or maybe Barack Obama or some other president was there. And Gurudev refused to go and see him. He said, no. Gurudev, devotees told we can arrange your meeting, but Gurudev said that it doesn't look good that a sannyasi is going to meet the president or the king. If they want, they can come and meet me. I will give them my association. But I will not go and see them. So Prataprudra Maharaj being a king, Mahaprabhu refused to see him. But later on, Sarum Bhattacharya suggested to him that when Mahaprabhu will take rest in a garden, Ayatota or someplace, during the Rath tired, you go and massage his feet, dress like a devotee, and sing some devotional songs. So he came and he began to sing very sweetly. Tava kathamrutam tapta jivanam kavi viriditam kalmashapaham Shravana mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi grananti te bhurija jana. Tava kathamrutam, the nectar and pastimes of Sri Krishna. What they do, they remove the pangs of this material existence. And those who distribute this Harikatha, they are most magnanimous persons in the whole world. It is said like this. Understand? So, this is the meaning. But also another meaning is that Tavakatha Mrutam. Those who speak this Harikatha, they destroy the lives of people. Because if a sadhu will come with a Bhagavatam in his armpits, please come, I will give a free class, you hear my class, no charges, nothing. And innocent persons go. And they attend the class of the sadhu, and then after that, they are completely ruined. They cannot focus in family affairs. job, career, anything, they simply become beggars. They beg here and there and somehow subsist like birds on the trees. So, anyways, association of the sadhus, it can make you, it can give you Krishna bhakti, but also association of sadhus will make sure that you become perfectly renounced. Understand? And this happens to everyone. Understand? It happens to everyone. If you associate with a sadhu, then suddenly what will happen? When you associate with sadhu, renunciation will come, detachment will come. So therefore, next verse we are taking, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavantirut karana rasayana katha tad joshnat ashu apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhakti anukramishyati. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavantirut karana rasayana katha tad joshnat ashu apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhakti anukramishyati. So here, the spiritually powerful message of Godhead can properly be discussed only in a society of devotees. And it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens. And gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. So here, very clearly told that we have to, the spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees. That's why this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Gaudiya Math, and other societies are formed, so that devotees can come and hear the Harikatha. It is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. Srila Gurudev was telling that there are different types of medicines. Some medicines are sugar-coated bitter pills. Understand? Sugar-coated bitter pills are also there, like quinine for malaria. But this medicine of Harikatha is very, very sweet. It is very sweet. And it cures the disease of the heart, but it is not very bitter, but rather very sweet. So, if one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens. So, you'll start realizing something transcendental, the gross happiness. So, Gurudev was giving an example that the gross happiness, material happiness, mundane happiness, has a limitation. Little bit happiness you'll get. But after some time, you don't want that happiness. Like, for example, you want to eat 1 laddu, 2 laddu. After eating 5 or 6 laddus, you say, enough. I don't want to take any more laddus. But spiritual happiness is not like that. It's ever increasing. And for example, many people think that there is happiness in marriage. If I find a beautiful girl or beautiful boy, I'll get married, that will give me happiness. So if marriage really gives happiness, then you should marry at least 100, 200, 500, 1000 girls. Understand? Will that give happiness? You'll be dead in no time. Understand? So it means that really marriage is not the cause of happiness. You should know it for sure. Marriage is only the source of misery. So really speaking, there is no happiness in the marriage. Gurudev was giving this example. Real happiness is in the bhakti. For example, Gurudev was giving the example of Kubja. Kubja, in past life, she was Shurpanakha. Now Ram Navami is coming on 10th. So Shurpanakha, she wanted to marry Ramchandra. And Ramchandra is like desire tree. If anyone will approach him with any desire, Ramchandra will accept that person's desire. Immediately he gave her birth as a hunchback woman. She had a very beautiful face, but unfortunately she was hunchback. Unfortunately or fortunately. Because if she would not be hunchback, then Kamsa would have surely forcefully enjoyed her, or some other king would have enjoyed her. But although she was a maidservant of Kamsa never enjoyed with her because she was hunchback. So everyone ignored her. And she remained perfectly virgin. And then Krishna placed his hand underneath her chin, placed his toe on his toe, and then pushed her back forward. And then what happened? And she became straight. When she became straight, she was very pretty. And she wanted to enjoy with Krishna. And Krishna satisfied her. She wanted to enjoy Krishna's body, and Krishna gave her that satisfaction. So her bhakti was sambhog ichamai. So Krishna is like desire tree. If anyone wants that, no harm. Krishna will give that also. Understand? But devotees don't want that. Understand? Devotees only want to serve Krishna under the guidance of Radharani. So, if one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. So these Harikatha actually will develop into very strong attraction. Understand? Very, very strong attraction and devotion will come. Naturally it will come. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kapil Dev replies to the questions of his mother Devahuti about the process of devotional service. Understand? So Mother Devahuti, she was Kardam Muni's wife, and she begot a son Kapil Dev. She also begot some daughters. When Kardam Muni went to the forest, then she asked some questions to Kapil Dev, and is giving guidance to his own mother. So here Kapil Dev, although the son of Devahuti, he is taking the role of his mother's spiritual master. Understand? He is taking the role of his mother's spiritual master. So as one advances in devotional activities, the process becomes progressively clearer and more encouraging. So this process will become clearer. In the beginning, not many people have idea as to what they are doing, and it is quite okay. For example, people don't know what they are chanting Mahamantra. Like ISKCON people started chanting, new devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. If you ask them what is the meaning of Ram, they say Ram is Balram. Achha. So like this they may tell. Or they may tell that Ram means Dashrathi Ram. That son of Dashrath Ram is actually Ram we are chanting. Many of them don't know what Ram they are chanting. But Srila Gurudev told that this is not Dashrathi Ram. Hara is name of Radharani. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the beloved of Radharani. And Ram means Radharaman. Ramayati Radhaya Sardamiti Rama. So bhakti begins, people don't know what they are doing, but they are with faith, they are chanting Hare Krishna mantra. And they may be placing Radha Krishna and also Narsingadev Vigraha next to each other. And they may be even putting peacock feather on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's head. In the beginning, it's all okay. And they may be singing, doing Radha Krishna Arti and singing Narsingadev prayers. That's also okay in the beginning. But when we develop some knowledge, Sambandha Gyan, then we should stop putting peacock feather on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gurudev was making this point. Srila Gaura Govind Maharaj also used to tell that don't disturb the mood of Krishna. Don't disturb the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu either. Mahaprabhu has a special mood. He wants not to be Krishna, he wants to be Radha. So if you put peacock feather on his head, immediately you are trying to make him into Krishna, which will disturb his mood of being Radha. Like Gurudev was giving an example that one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told Gadadhar Pandit, hey Gadadhar, I want to give you my heart. And he began to dig in the sand. Near Chatak Parvat, he began to dig in the sand. And from the sand came the very wonderful crown of Krishna and Krishna's wonderful head manifested. Then slowly he pulled out that deity. He said, this is my heart. Mahaprabhu gave his heart, that deity of Gopinath, to Shri Gadadhar Pandit. And he told you should worship this deity. And Gadadhar Pandit every day used to worship that deity. But slowly, slowly, Gadadhar Pandit became very weak due to separation of Mahaprabhu, Krishna. So he could not stand and do deity worship. So he had to sit down and do deity worship. So deity also sat down. Gadadhar Pandit was not very old when he became weak. He may be 47, 48, 45, 47. That is not the age when you become very weak. But like Gurudev was giving an example of Sudama, that how Sudama became excessively weak even in the young age, and his wife Sushila also became excessively weak and old even in their youth because of malnutrition, because of not getting enough food, or maybe due to separation of Krishna. So untimely old age came to Gadadhar Pandit due to the separation of Mahaprabhu. So the deity sat down. So Gadadhar Pandit used to give classes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu used to hear those classes. But Gadadhar Pandit never came to Gambhira. Because as soon as he would come to Gambhira and Mahaprabhu would see him, and because Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, then immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would start thinking, I am Krishna, Gadadhar is Radharani, and then the whole thing will be spoiled. Here Mahaprabhu is trying to realize the mood of Radharani. He is not trying to realize the mood of Krishna. So presence of Gadadhar Pandit in Gambhira would have disturbed that. So Gurudev told that that's why Gadadhar Pandit never used to go to the Gambhira. Understand? So the process becomes clearer and more encouraging. In the beginning, we feel that, why so much austerity, why we have to get up for Mangalarti, why these fasting days, why we have to chant, understand? But slowly, slowly we realize and the taste starts coming. So unless one gets this spiritual encouragement by following the instructions of the spiritual master, it is not possible to make advancement. So we have to get spiritual encouragement by following the instructions of the spiritual master. It is not possible to make advancement. Therefore, one's development of a taste for executing these instructions is the test of one's devotional service. Initially, one must develop confidence by hearing the science of devotion from a qualified spiritual master. This is very, very important. We should try to hear this. We should try to hear from the spiritual master. Hearing, Shravana Bhakti. So Gurudev was telling that Parikshit Maharaj, what type of bhakti he did, Shravana Bhakti. And then there was Kirtana Bhakti. Understand? So first Shravanam. Charangi Shravane Parikshit Abhavat, Vayasaki Kirtane, Prallada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane, Lakshmi Prutu Pujane, Akurrasta Vivandane, Kavipatir Dasyata Sakhyar Junam, Sarvasvatma Nivedane, Balirahut Krishna Tirisham. So different devotees executed different types of devotional services. But among them, Parikshit Maharaj is the Acharya for Shravanakya Bhakti. We should very carefully hear Harikatha. Parikshit Maharaj very carefully heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami. And Srila Gurudev said that if you don't hear Bhagavatam carefully, then instead of going to Vaikuntha, you'll go to hell. Understand? This was Gurudev was telling. And he was telling that don't hear Bhagavatam from those who charge money for Bhagavatam class. He was very critical about it. He said, our brahmacharis have come like Shubhananda Brahmachari, Bhaktidan Tirtha Maharaj and others. They are not ordinary, they are very qualified. And they don't want any money from you to hear Bhagavatam, to tell you Bhagavatam. You can give them only one leaf, Tulsi leaf. They will very happily accept that. We are not here for money. We only want that you hear Bhagavatam. So, hearing this science of devotional service, you should hear it very, very carefully. What to speak of Srimad Bhagavatam, even other Puranas glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. In other Puranas like Padma Purana and others, it's told that Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but great scripture which describes the pastimes of Vritrasu, Understand? Srila Gurudev was talking about how Vritrasur, although he was in a demon body, he sang the eloquent prayers, very wonderful prayers, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ajata paksham ima mataram khagas tanyam yata vatsat darakshudharta priyam priva vishitam vishanna mano arvindaksha drakshadita. How he was remembering Krishna, Vritrasur. Ajata paksham iva mataram khaga. There are in a nest, small baby birds have taken birth from the eggs. And these baby birds are all day chirping and calling out their mother, "Mother, please come, feed us, feed us." Mother, because they are also afraid that maybe a owl will come and devour them. Some other birds like crow will come and devour them. A snake may come in and eat them up. So therefore, they are remembering the mother. Mother will also come, she'll bring some grains, she'll chew them and somehow make the paste out of it. She'll bring worms, longer worms, and then she'll place in the mouths of these birds, baby birds. But here, baby birds are calling the mother for the food, not for the love of the mother. So therefore, Gurudev said this is not an example of Shuddha Bhakti. Is not the example of pure bhakti. Then he says that Ajata pakshamiv mataram kagas tanyam yata vatsata rakshudharta. How the baby calf is calling the mother cow. But when mother cow comes, the baby calf will immediately start drinking the milk. And mother will try to smell the body of the baby calf. But baby calf will be more interested in drinking the milk of the mother. And once the baby calf has drunk the mother's milk, he will leave the mother and play with other calves. Mother will be worried where the baby has gone, but the baby is no more worried now. He only wanted the milk of the mother. So Gurudev said that Chitraketu Maharaj was not satisfied with this example also. Then he gave another example that Priyam Priva Vishitam Vishanna. Vishitam means the beloved is gone to some distant country. Here the word husband and wife is not used. Because in marriage, the love is every day dwindling and dwindling. It is not increasing. So here Gurudev is giving an example of husband, not husband and wife, but lover and the beloved. No marriage and still love is there. And how the lover is gone to a distant country and how the beloved is remembering him. That type of love, this is some hint of Gopi's love is given. So very wonderful prayers are coming from Vritrasur. So we should try to hear such sweet explanations of Srimad Bhagavatam from Vaishnavas. Many devotees think that we can simply read we have Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have Bhagavatam, we will read them. That is also okay. But also, Srila Gurudev was telling that we should try to hear from Vaishnavas. Ja Bhagavata pada Vaishnavera sthani ekanta ashray kara Chaitanya Charan. There is a special importance for hearing from the lips of the spiritual master. But don't hear from atheistic university professors. Don't try to join Harvard, Cambridge or Oxford and get admission there and learn Bhagavatam from them. What these atheistic persons can teach you? They are non-devotees. They cannot teach you real purport of Bhagavatam. But rather we should join the university of Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, like this. Then as he associates with devotees and tries to adopt the means instructed by the spiritual master in his own life, his misgivings and other obstacles are vanquished by his execution of devotional service. Means his misconceptions will go away slowly and his obstacles will also go away. What are the obstacles in devotional service? There are many obstacles which are described in Madhurya Kadambini, and slowly these obstacles will go away. Strong attachment for the transcendental service of the Lord develops as he continues listening to the message of Godhead. And if he steadfastly proceeds in this way, he is certainly elevated to spontaneous love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In here again, the Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, although this book was written long ago, is talking about the spontaneous love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Raga Nuga Bhakti. Gurudev is telling Bhakti two types. Raganuga and Ragatmika. Raganuga Bhakti is the devotees who are practicing, but Ragatmika are the devotees whose Atma is the Rag, whose very Atma, the very soul is love for Krishna, like Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Radharani, and those who follow in the footsteps of these eternal associates of Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, like Raktak Patrak, they are called Raga Nuga Bhaktas. Anuprabhu, Hare Krishna. Please, Anangmohan Prabhu, please sing one bhajan.
Okay, no problem.
Dandavat, Hare Krishna. Sing one bhajan. Hare Krishna. Hare.
Vande Vishvambarapadakamalaam Vande Vishvambarapadakamalaam Kandita Kali Yuga Janamala Shamalam Kandita Kali Yuga Janamalam Samalam Vande Vishvam Parapadakamalam Sorabakashita Nija Jana Madhupam Sorabakashita Nija Jana Madhupam Karuna Kandita Viraha Vitapam Karuna Kandita Viraha Vitapam Vande Vishvam Parapadakamalam Vande Vishvambarapadakamalaam Nashitaridgatamayati mihiram Nashitaridgatamayati mihiram Varanija kantya jagata chihiram Varanija kantya jagata machihiram Vande Vishvambarapadakamalaam Vande Vishvambarapadakamalaam Satata virajita nirupama shobham Satata virajita nirupama shobham Radha mohana kalita vilopam Radha mohana kalita vilopam Vande Vishvambara padakamalam Vande Vishvambara padakamalam.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Very good. So this is the Vande Vishwambara Padakamalam. Khandita Kaliyugam Janamala Shamalam. Kaliyuga is a very horrible age. But there is one great quality of Kaliyuga. Kaler Dosha Nidhe Rajan Asti Eko Mahan Guna. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vraje. But in Kaliyuga, if you chant the name of Krishna, very quickly you can make progress. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came in this Kaliyuga. Vishwam Bharati. Vishwam Bharati Pura Yatiti Vishwam Bhara. One who fills this world with love and affection. That is Vishwambhar. So, this is very, very important. Srila Gurudev was telling that Krishna is all powerful. Krishna is all powerful, but who is his potency? His potency is Radharani. And without Radharani, he cannot do anything. Understand? And that's why we all surrender to Radharani. Like Srila Swami Maharaj, he was telling one time that if anyone wants to serve Krishna, then he has to approach first Radharani. If Radharani will recommend that devotee, then Krishna will accept that devotee in the service. We must get recommendation from Radharani or any Sakhi of Radharani like Lalita, Vishakha, or especially Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari. Understand? So that is very, very important if you want to advance. So many obstacles are coming. Understand? In Bhakti. Like Srila Gurudev told that the best place in the world to do bhajan is Vrindavan. Agreed. Gurudev was telling that It is not that same that in Delhi you are doing japa and you are doing in Vrindavan, the result will not be the same. The japa which is done in Vrindavan, Mathura, will be far more effective than japa done in New York or say Delhi. Understand? No doubt about it. But still there is a warning out there. Unless all your material desires have diminished totally, gone totally, or minimized to a great degree, there is no point in going to Vrindavan. Understand? Because to go to Vrindavan and then engage in sense gratification in that place is very bad. So in that case, if your desires have not diminished, then better to be in your own village and your own town and city and pray to Vrindavan Dham and chant Hare Krishna. Because once you go to Vrindavan, you cannot engage in any nonsense there. This is what the Gurudev was telling. So here, in the verse number 61, it is told, Ishvara Sarupa Bhakta Tandra Adhisthana. Ishvara Sarupa Bhakta Tandra Adhisthana. Bhaktira Rudhaye Krishnera Satata Vishrama. A pure devotee constantly engaged in the loving service of the Lord is identical with the Lord, who is always seated in his heart. So here, Bhagwan is seated in the heart of the pure devotee. So in Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung one bhajan, Tomara Rudhaye Sada Govinda Vishrama Govinda Kahena Mama Vaishnava Parana. Bhagwan is in the heart of all living entities. That Sarvasya Chaham Vrudisanni Vishto Mattasputir Jnanam Apuhanam. Bhagwan in the shape of Paramatma is in the heart of all living entities. But in the heart of pure devotees, he is not present as Paramatma, but rather as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And in this way, that devotee becomes the temple of Krishna. Understand? And why the devotee heart is the shelter for Bhagwan? Because the devotee's heart is free from any types of material desires. So Bhagwan can peacefully take rest there. He can take Vishram there. If he enters the hearts of the karmis, jnanis, yogis, mystic, those are seeking mystic perfection or perfection in fruitive action, elevation to heavenly planets, or impersonal liberation, or then they will keep on demanding so many things from Bhagwan and Bhagwan cannot take rest there. But a pure devotee who is completely free from any tendency to ask anything from Bhagwan, Bhagwan can take rest in his heart. Understand? So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one without a second. One without a second means he is actually a Samordha Tattva. No one is equal to him, no one is superior to him, and he is Adhokshaja Tattva, beyond the sensory perception, and no one is equal to him. And therefore he is all powerful. He has inconceivable energies, of which three are principal. The devotee is considered to be one of these energies, never the energetic. So here, Shakti Shakti Matar Abhed, every devotee is the energy of Bhagwan. If he is a sadhak devotee, he is like Tatasa Shakti. He is like an eternally perfected devotee, like Radharani or Subal, Dham, Vasudham. Then is Sarup Shakti. So devotees is energy. Understand? But the energetic is always the Supreme Lord. Like Gurudev was making a point that yes, Radharani is so qualified and she completely controls Krishna, but she is also made servant of Krishna. Yashoda is so powerful, she can twist Krishna's ear and chastise him, but she is also a made servant of Krishna. Nanda Maharaj is so powerful, he may order Krishna, please bring my shoes. But ultimately speaking, he is also a servant of Krishna. So all the devotees of Krishna are his energies. There is Sarup Shakti, understand? Or is Tatasa Shakti. A living entity in the conditioned stage can uncover his aptitude for serving the absolute truth by the grace of Krishna and the spiritual master. So every living entity has potential to become a pure devotee. But for that he needs the help of Krishna and spiritual master. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paye Bhakti Lata Pita. भवाभ वर्गो भ्रमतो यदा भवे जनसतरी अच्युत सत्समागम सत्संगेतर सद्गतो परावरेशतो जायते रति. Wandering in 14 planetary systems, somehow or the other, one receives association of a pure devotee of Krishna, pure devotee. And when one receives that association of a pure devotee, understand, then he receives the seed of devotional service from that devotee, and one becomes inclined to render service to Krishna, not before that. So the aptitude for serving the absolute truth comes by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master. Then the Lord reveals himself within his heart, and he can know that Krishna is seated in the heart of every pure devotee. Premanjana chorita bhakti vilochana santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilochayan. The devotees see Krishna right in their heart through the eyes which are anointed by the salve of love of Krishna. So he can know that Krishna is seated in the heart of every pure devotee. So here told that Yampra Vrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krutyam Dvaipayano Viraha Katar Aja Hava Putrete Tanmaya Taya Tarvo Viredustam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Muni Manatosu. Here Sutta Goswami is telling that my Guru Maharaj Shukdev Goswami Pad is in the heart of all living entities. As much as Bhagwan is everywhere, my Guru is also in the heart of all living entities. So Bhagwan and Guru are in the heart of all living entities. That's why they know what's going on in everyone's hearts. So here again he is substantiating the importance of devotees. Sadhava Hridayam Mayyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tu Aham Madanyat Tena Jananti Naham Tebhyo Managati. Saints are my heart. See, when you will ask Bhagwan, where is your heart? The sadhus are my heart. And only I am their hearts. And the devotee's heart is also Bhagwan. They do not know anyone but me. The devotees don't know anyone but Krishna. And therefore I do not recognize anyone besides them as mine. So really speaking, Krishna's families are the devotees. Very, very loving to the devotees. That's why Gurudev was telling that don't offend any devotee. Even a neophyte devotee also don't offend any living entity. Especially devotees, don't criticize them. Otherwise, Krishna will not be happy with you at all. So this verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.68 in connection with a misunderstanding between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarish. Understand? Sadhava Hridayam Mayyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tvaham Madanyat Tena Jananti Naham Tebhyo Managati. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anything else but them. Since Durvasa Muni wanted to chastise Maharaj Ambarish, it is to be understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the Lord says, Sadhava Hridayam Mayyam, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. So when you want to give hard time to other devotees, you should know that you are directly troubling the heart of the devotee, heart of Bhagwan himself. The sadhus are the heart of Bhagwan. One time Durvasa Muni, Durva means there is one type of green grass is called Durva. One who always drinks the juice of this Durva grass, that is called Durvasa. Durvasa also means one who wears bad clothes, that is Durvasa. One time Durvasa Muni came to Dwarka, he said, I want to stay in anyone's palace, please allow me. No one allowed him to stay in their palace, seeing his dangerous appearance, his anger and other things. So somehow Krishna allowed, he should stay in my palace, no harm. So he started staying in Krishna's palace, but he used to wake them up, Krishna and Rukmini, night time, I am very hungry. So about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the night, they had to cook for Durvasa. And sometimes he used to tell, I am very hungry, then they used to prepare foodstuff, they used to throw them away. In this way, one time he came to Krishna's house and he tore all the clothes, linens, bed sheets, clothes, everything he tore. And he ran away. So one day he told Krishna that I want to eat some lot of kheer, payasam. So they made nice Paramanna kheer. Then he told Krishna, now I don't want to eat this. You should apply all your entire body. So Krishna took that sweet rice and applied from his head to toe. Then he told Krishna that why you didn't apply to your souls? Because you didn't apply to your souls remain weak. They may be vulnerable to the attack of your enemy, but your rest of the body will become like thunderbolt. One time he said that I want to ride a chariot. When Krishna brought a chariot, then Krishna said that these horses are ready, they will take you wherever you like. He said, no, I don't want a chariot yoked to the horses. Please remove the horses and I want your wife, beautiful wife, Rukmini, to pull this chariot. Then they brought Rukmini and the Rukmini was pulling the chariot. But Rukmini is a poor princess, very weak, fragile. How can she pull a chariot very expertly and deftly like horses? Then he began to hit Rukmini with hunter. And seeing this, all the Yadavas were very angry. They wanted to kill Durvasa. How dare he is, harassing our queen like this, making her pull the chariot. But Krishna told all the Yadavas, don't say a word out to him. He's a great sadhu. A Brahmana, sadhu, sannyasi will harass us, slap us, kick us, curse us. Whatever may he do, we should not retaliate. We should tolerate. Especially Vaishnavas, Brahmanas are very dear to me. Even if they punish you, you should learn to tolerate. So finally, Durvasa was very pleased with Krishna. And he said, you have great tolerance. I yoked your wife to the chariot, but you never protested. He told Rukmini, I bless you that you will be the most favorite queen of Krishna. You will have the greatest good fortune. So this Durvasa Muni, when he tried to offend Ambarish Maharaj, he was actually giving trouble to Krishna's heart. But really speaking, did Durvasa really offend Ambarish Maharaj? Why would Durvasa, who is incarnation of Shiva, offend Ambarish Maharaj? There was no reason. The only reason was that he wanted to teach the whole world how you should never offend a devotee. And he also wanted to teach the world the importance of Ekadashi fasting. Like Ram Navami day till noon, you are not taking grains. After noon, when you are done Abhishekam of Shaligram Shila or a deity of Ramchandra and Sita, then after Abhishek or Arti Kirtan, you can take Ekadashi Prasadam, fruit and others, potatoes and groundnuts. Evening also you can take some Ekadashi Prasadam. Or those who can do Nirjal, that is fine, they can do Nirjal Vrata on Ram Navami. And then on next day, after sunrise, you have to break the fast. Then comes on 12th, again, Kamda Ekadashi. You have to fast. And then on 13th, you have to break the fast after 8:35 as per Indian time. And many people are fasting on 13th, but actually, we should fast on 12th. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very strongly recommended that one not commit any offense at the lotus feet of a devotee. Such offenses are compared to a mad elephant because when a mad elephant enters a garden, it causes devastation. Yadi Vaishnav aparadha ute hati mata upadiya tara chindi jai pata. When a mad elephant enters into someone's courtyard, garden, then he will uproot every single tree in the garden. Understand? So we have to be very, very careful. We don't want to uproot our bhakti. So don't criticize any Vaishnava. Although there may be a reason one should criticize a Vaishnava, one should not criticize a Vaishnava. Therefore, one should be extremely careful not to commit offense at the lotus feet of a pure devotee. Especially pure devotees you have to watch out for. Actually, Maharaj Ambarish was not at all at fault. Durvasa Muni unnecessarily wanted to chastise him on flimsy grounds. So Gurudev was telling that learn to forgive. Learn to forgive and forget. Unless you forgive and forget, how can you advance in bhakti? Like Gurudev was known to forgive devotees. Many devotees used to commit sinful activities or some offenses. Then they used to come to Gurudev and ask for forgiveness. And Gurudev used to forgive even their serious offenses, because that is the mercy of Vaishnavas. They are very, very kind to the others. If you are not kind to others, if you are not forgiving others' offenses, then how will Bhagavan forgive our offenses? So we should never be very strict, but rather very lenient with other Vaishnavas and devotees. We should always try to forgive them and also pardon them if they have committed any offense. And we should ourselves never take any offense. Maharaj Ambarish wanted to complete the Ekadashi Paran as a part of devotional service to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he drank a little water. So Ambarish Maharaj, he took only one little bit Charanamrut. Understand? Because unless you complete the Ekadashi Paran on time, Bhakti will not come. It will vanish if you don't do Paran on time. Like one devotee asking Gurudev that I missed Ekadashi, what should I do? Do I need to fast the next day? Because I was in ISKCON, New York, some devotees to tell me, if you have broken the Ekadashi, then you should fast on Dvadashi, they should tell. But Gurudev was telling that no, if you have unknowingly broken the Ekadashi, you should lament and you should feel remorse for it. And you should pray to Krishna, please forgive me. I am feeling great pain, I missed an Ekadashi. And next Ekadashi you should do. That is sufficient atonement for skipping an Ekadashi, unknowingly. Understand? You should ask forgiveness from Bhagavan. Bhagavan can forgive us. And you should start doing the next Ekadashi. Don't break Ekadashi knowingly and then ask forgiveness. Unknowingly, if it is done, you should ask forgiveness. But although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic Brahmana, he did not know what is what. This is the difference between a pure devotee and a so-called learned scholar of Vedic knowledge. The devotees, being always situated in the core of the Lord's heart, surely get all instructions directly from the Lord, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanajam tama nashami atma bhavastu bhava deepena bhasvata jnana deepena bhasvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So Bhagavan will stay in the heart of the devotees and will guide them. He will illuminate the lamp of knowledge in their hearts and remove the darkness of their ignorance. The devotees do not do anything not sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Vidnayana Bhuja. Even the most learned and experienced person cannot understand the moments of a Vaishnava, a pure devotee. No one therefore should criticize a pure Vaishnava. A Vaishnava knows his own business. Whatever he does is precisely right because he always guided by the Supreme Personality of God. So here Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is telling us, please don't criticize the Vaishnavas, especially those who are far more elevated than you, senior than you. Because if you criticize them, it will cause your total ruination. You lose all bhakti you have. They are always right. Vaishnavas are always right. Whatever they do, we cannot reconcile, then we should keep quiet and do pranam to them. Their activity is very difficult to comprehend why they do something. Understand? Like for example, I see sometimes the videos of Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj and Gurudev, their dealings. So loving dealings. Sometimes they are quarreling also. Understand? They are cutting each other's arguments over Siddhanta. But Gurudev said that don't commit offense to Trivikram Goswami Maharaj. Don't think he's an ordinary person. He is my Shiksha Guru. He is very, very advanced. And he is also giving so much respect to Gurudev. And sometimes they're cutting the arguments of each other's. Understand? But there is no animosity. But rather it is for the benefit of the disciples, neophytes, devotees. They are actually cutting each other's arguments so that we can learn some Siddhanta. Understand? So Lord Vishnu advised him, however, that if he wanted to forgiveness, he had to get it from Maharaj Ambarish and not from him. In that context, Lord Vishnu spoke this verse. So who can forgive us? that the devotee we have offended only can forgive us. If a thorn enters the foot, it cannot come out of the head. If you offended any particular devotee, you have to go and ask forgiveness from that devotee. Like one devotee felt that his finger need to be amputated. He went to doctor, he was hurting too much. Doctor said this is like some septic gangrene. If you don't cut this finger, your whole the gangrene and this infection will spread all over your body. Please come tomorrow, surgically we'll try to remove this finger. So that devotee became very perplexed and he went to, I think, someone, maybe Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj or Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj. And then that one of them told that, don't worry, have you offended any Vaishnava? Then they said, Maharaj, yes, I have offended a Vaishnava. Then Maharaj told him, go and immediately ask forgiveness from that Vaishnava. He said, I cannot ask forgiveness from him because he has left the world. He is already gone. Then Maharaj told him that, do you remember where he was cremated? He said, yes, I know where body was cremated. Then go to that place and ask forgiveness. So he went to the place where his body was cremated. And then within a day that infection subsided and he went to doctor. Doctor said, no need to cut your finger. Now your finger is okay. Understand? So when you offend a devotee, some serious disease may come. Some serious problems will come. Bhagavan will punish such a person by giving some very serious physical ailment. Understand? Because you are hurting the heart of Bhagavan. So Lord, being full and free from problems, can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. His concern is how to elevate and protect all those who have taken shelter at his feet. The same responsibility is also entrusted to the spiritual master. So Bhagavan wants to protect the devotees and he also manifests as the spiritual master to protect the devotees. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always mindful of the devotees who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here today. If anyone has any questions, you can ask me. Understand? And next class, I think, will be about Madhuri Kadambini. Now 2 fasting days are coming on 10th and 12th. 10th is Ram Navami. Ram Navami is like Ramchandra was born in this wonderful season, spring season, and he was born in noontime. So noontime you'll have to. Satya Prabhu is a physics lover. He's asking a question that Navadvip or Vrindavan, which is better? Yes, Navadvip is better for new devotees because there is no consideration of offense there. Understand? Krishna naam kare aparadhare vichar, naam laite aparadhare nahe hai vikar. Bahu janma kari yadi shravana kirtana, tabutana paye Krishna pade prema dhana. Chaitanya nityananda nahi ye sab vichar, naam laite prema dhana bhaya ashrudha. There is no consideration of offenses in chanting the name of Sachinandan Gaurahari Nityananda Prabhu. So their holy abode is also very merciful. Gaura Prasad is also very merciful. So yes, Navadvip is more beneficial for the sadhakas. Vrindavan is for siddhas, perfected persons. Also for sadhakas, there are also sadhakas living in Vrindavan. But you have to be extra careful. Understand? Once I asked Gurudev that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has told something in Gauranga Smaran Mangal Sutram that Nama Paradham Sakalam Vinasya Chaitanya Nama Shritamanavanam Bhaktim Param Yaha Pradadau Janebhyo Tam Gaura Chandram Pranamami Bhaktya. Nama Paradham Sakalam Vinasya. That all Namaparas will go away if you surrender to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and chant his name. I said to Gurudev that really all the offenses are removed. Then Gurudev said yes, but not all, but only those who are not so serious. But those who are serious offenses will not be removed unless we lament and we ask forgiveness and feel genuine remorse. Those offenses will not go away. Only the Vaishnavas we have offended will forgive us. But generally speaking, smaller offenses, minor offenses will go away by simply taking shelter of Navadvip Dham. Understand? So, Satya Prabhu, your question is, answer is yes, Navadvip is better for sadhakas. Any more questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you were
Yes.
mentioning that if you miss the Ekadasi, suppose Ekadasi is say today, only I realize Ekadasi after about 12 o'clock or something. Should I continue the Ekadasi or next Ekadasi, as you say, next Ekadasi I do it?
Yeah. Sometimes it happens, Mohan Prabhu, that we come to know about Ekadashi little late. For example, Ekadashi began 6 o'clock, but I came to know about it 10 o'clock. I had already taken some biscuits or something or some food. I didn't know it's Ekadashi today. So, Srila Anirudh Prabhuji once told that if you have unknowingly broken the Ekadashi, then don't eat the grains again that day. Understand? Follow rest of the day like Ekadashi, thinking that, okay, I came to know late, so I'll keep on following. I'll keep on following. Understand? Still some benefit will come and Krishna will forgive you. Understand? But many people, what they do is, oh, today I didn't know, today Ekadashi, I already had my breakfast. So what is the harm if I take lunch and dinner also? No. If you had breakfast, then stop there itself. Okay, I made a mistake, ask forgiveness to Krishna and continue with the rest of the Ekadashi. Understand? Still some benefit will come and Krishna will forgive you. Understand? So we should not generally try to make sure that you post the calendar everywhere on refrigerator, on the walls, everywhere. Reminder should be there. Understand? Alarms and that Ekadashi is there. But if unknowingly we make mistake, Bhagwan is very kind. He will forgive us if we ask forgiveness. Understand? So don't worry.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavas.
Krishna.
Satya Prabhu is asking what one should read after reading Bhagavad Gita by Sri Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is fine, and then after that you can read Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma is the final literary composition of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He has written it in the most mature work he has written. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not ordinary person, he is an eternal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So his best literary book is Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma is not a history. Jaiva Dharma is not a novel. It is a history. It is the real incidences which he has recorded. He saw in his samadhi, in his trance, and he wrote it down. All your questions will be answered. Srila Bhakti Vallabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj also used to say that. I had so many questions, and I used to ask so many questions to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj. But he told me, read Jaiva Dharma, all your answers you'll find there. And he said, really, reading Jaiva Dharma, I found real answers to all the questions. Jaiva Dharma is a very, very important book. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram.
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
Would you be taking the Jaiva Dharma classes?
Jaiva Dharma classes, yes. If anyone are interested, we can start. We already have Madhurya Kadambini and Chaitanya Charitamrita going. Jaiva Dharma also we can start if you find if those who are interested, understand. We can discuss Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma should be discussed every day. At least once or twice in the week we can discuss Jaiva Dharma. It's a very nice book. Understand. One cannot develop Shuddha Bhakti unless we read Jaiva Dharma. Understand. Jaiva Dharma is Dashamul Tattva, very, very important. In Ayurveda, there is one medicine called Dashamula Rishta. This is a very strong tonic. So like this, Dashamul Tattva is like Dashamula Rishta in Ayurveda. It gives you strength. Understand? That's why what is Nitya Dharma, what is Nemitik Dharma, what is the Swarupa of the Jiva, what is Nam Tattva, what is Namabhas Tattva, Namaparat Tattva. And also all these things, so much information is given in Jaiva Dharma. So therefore, if you take an initiative, some devotee will take initiative, I am willing to give Jaiva Dharma class once or twice a week. Okay. Satya Prabhu is telling that he can 6 devotee friends I can arrange. All right, Prabhu. You make a link on Google Meet and because we already have 2 classes and I have one Sunday class also in the evening. But we'll find the correct time. You see, make a suggestion. I'll find I have an open slot and I will start giving classes. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Manoj.
That was Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. ठीक है वांछाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरे
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you. Dhanyavad Prams. Ananga Mohan Prabhu, Jai Diwani, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
श्री श्री गुरु गौरंग गंधर का गिरिधारी राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। नित्य लिप्र विष्णु विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांता विष्णु देवती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लिप्र विष्णु विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शता श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत दांडी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लिप्र विष्णु विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शता श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लिप्र विष्णु विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र शता श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज